I want to know, before we sign off here, what's coming next for you? What are some future plans for either you, Scribe Music? I know you were talking about another album or a single. I'm not sure what that was.
Yep.
And also for Apologetics Camera. What's up and coming for you guys?
Welcome to the Revo Report. We're inspiring faith with reason and reason with faith.
Yeah, so we actually got a lot going on, whether it's personal or within the organization. First and foremost, with the organization, we have a couple events coming up. In Ontario, we actually have the Leadership Summit coming up in May, where Wes will be hosting that. I won't be coming out this year because I'll be preparing for another event locally called the Western Youth Summit, which is essentially a one-day equipping event for high schoolers. So basically giving grassroots apologetics to high school students so that essentially we can catch them at this age with the opportunity and ability to feel equipped going into going into university and beyond, not waiting till they're in university to try and get them into community groups. It's just, let's get them on campus. It's in partnership with Trinity Western University. And equipping them with apologetics that makes sense for where they're at and articulating it in such a way that will be conducive and understanding for the high schooler.
And so when is that happening?
So that one is happening at the end of May, I believe, off the top of my head, May 20, end of May. So the Leadership Summit is happening the week, I believe it's the last weekend of May 31st weekend. You can always head to our events page on apologeticscanada.com/events, and it's all up there. We have what's called the AC Summer School. This is again for people out in BC, where Andy Stigern, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Andy Bannister from the UK. They're going to be doing basically just an intensive Apologetics Canada course for people that want to be better equipped with apologetics and be familiar with the different levels and measures of apologetics, because it's very multifaceted. And then, as I mentioned, especially for the Ontario viewers, in November, we'll be having the Apologetics Canada Conference out there. Promo and those sorts of things will be coming out very soon. We're in the workings of what that's going to look like. But we'd love to see you out there, Vince. We'd love to connect when that happens on the Friday or the Saturday. So that would be great. Now, personally, my worship team, LoveQuest International Worship. We are currently working on a new project. And so we're in the planning stages for that. We'll be recording that actually on Good Friday. And then the goal is to release that early summer, that kind of thing. But we'll do a live recording of that as well. And we actually have two projects out right now. The last one was an album called Home, which was a project that was all written by our community, featuring our worship team. Team. And then the one before that was called Sounds Like Home. And we just reimagined some of our favorite worship songs, and it's all live. Everything we did was live. So that was really cool. Personally, I will be releasing some new music this year. Going to be talking with my team, whether or not it's a series of singles or whether it's an album. That's yet to be discovered, but have quite a bit of new music coming out, especially within on the hip hop side, obviously. But also I want to give a shout out to my pastor, who is also a hip hop artist. Like that was what he did first. And so he's working on releasing a new album called Mocktails. Yeah. Essentially the album is a story of one celebrating his transformation, his walk with the Lord as someone who was in the club and doing all those sorts of things. And now he's living a life where, man, I still get to enjoy celebration, but in the context of sonship, in the context of reclaim, like, why does the world get to be the only ones that party and celebrate the goodness of God? Did joy come from the world? No, it didn't. It's a phenomenal album. He's released 2 songs on there. His artist name is Terrence Richmond. That's his name. Yeah, Terrence Richmond, phenomenal artist. He was actually just on Huntley Street about a week or 2 back and did an interview there. So feel free to check that out. But yeah, just overall, God is doing some really cool stuff, even within my family. In a couple of weeks, I'll be heading to California with a group from Saskatchewan, from YFC Saskatoon, where we'll be taking students to California, many who have never left the province. And we're going to take them to Universal, Disneyland. We're going to take them down to Skid Row to Project Serve, where they're going to get to do some evangelistic work, connect with a church down there. And we found it acts itself like just a spring break trip. Right. Much like many students, they go to France or different places in Europe. It's like a spring break trip where I'm the speaker and the artist for it, where I also we use it as an opportunity to give them the gospel. And we've seen radical transformation from kids who never thought this was just going to be a cool, fun summer trip. They didn't realize that the Lord was going to use this to radically change their lives. something special about standing at a beach. All of a sudden you start having introspective thoughts about, oh my gosh, I'm a small person in a big world. And yet there's this guy, Troy, telling me that the Lord loves me and that I'm special and that
Oh, it's
he
on
sees
it's
me.
on the beach. That's happening right
So
there.
we'll be going to different places. Like we'll be going to the beach.
Whoa.
We'll be going
Okay.
to all these different places in California. So
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah, so that's what I got coming up. If people want to follow along in that journey, whether the music journey, they can follow me at Scribe Music on Instagram and all the socials, or they can follow me at Prairie Boy Troy. That's more my ministry page. The Apologetics Canada, that's more my personal page, that sort of thing. And then obviously everything we're doing in the Apologetics Canada, like you have there, Apologetics Canada. So lots coming up.
Man, okay, if I can, man, you got a lot going on. You've done so much already. How do you find, and you're a father, your husband, how do you find the balance in having so much, be involved in so many of these things? Now you're taking a group out, you're speaking, you're singing, you're recording, you're the Apologetics Canada, you're doing a podcast. How do you find the balance in all of it, man?
First and foremost, and this may sound poetic, but I tell people there's no such thing as balance in ministry. It's priorities.
I like
I
that.
prioritize, and I'm constantly learning what takes greater priority in what season. So
Okay.
while I am an artist, I'm not always in writing season. While I'm an artist, I'm not always in performing season. Some seasons I have to let the soil rest, knowing that the soil is still fertile, knowing that the right seeds at the right time will be planted, and knowing what season whether I'm in the planting season, the watering season, and the reaping season. And so I'd say I'm coming into the reaping season with my music, where things are budding and I now get to cultivate that and see what comes from it, especially even with family. I'm constantly learning, okay, Lord, how do I continue to date my wife? How do I continue to play with my kids? Like constantly learning, like I'm just constantly trying to humble myself and knowing, man, I get one shot at this. And so while sometimes you have to have the tough conversation, while sometimes you have to say no to things you really want to do, it's me trying not to get ahead of myself and being present everywhere I am, letting my yes be yes, my no be no, so that my yes has value and my no carries weight. I never want to be so into a season that I forget that season has to change, right? I live in Vancouver, the Vancouver area, right? I'm in Surrey, and it's the rainy season, right? But people get so caught up in the rainy season that they forget that the sun is coming, and there will be a point where it gets so hot where the plants start drying that you're crying out for the rain again, right? So trying to make the best of every season while I'm in that season and hearing from the Lord and constantly praying and understanding that sacrifices have to be made, right? Sacrifices have to be made. I get a lot of requests for speaking at conferences and events. And in this season in particular, my ask has been, can you bring my family with me? Because I know I have other externals. Do you have the budget to fly my family? So what that sometimes requires is, if we're just talking, being very open, it says, pay me less, put that budget to bring in my family. Because the reward of being able to bring my family is so much better than being able to say that, oh, they paid me X amount of dollars. At the end of the day, you paid me X amount of dollars, but I missed my kids on the weekend. I missed a recital. I missed, and like any parent, like we're a single income household, there's some things that I just can't make, but communicating with my wife is crucial. We have a Monday meeting, and every Monday we sit down and we talk about what's coming up in the week, what's coming up in the month. We put things on the calendar and the schedule, and we talk through, do we need to be there? Can we be there? Can you be there? Can the whole family be there? Okay, if I can't be there, then we're going to do this. We're going to do this on Wednesday because I'm away on Thursday, or I'm flying out on Friday. So Thursday we're doing this and I'm not going to that. And it just is what it is. Right. So I'm communicating with my pastors, my elders, communicating with work. And it's, I've just learned the value of communicating early and just prayerfully asking the Lord, do I need to be at that? Should I be at that? And the beautiful thing is, when you walk with the Lord, when you're walking with him, you know his answers earlier.
Man, that's incredible.